Okay, I've been trying to put these concepts and ideas into a clear, allow it to come through clear. Um, and I think I found something that might trigger that deeper understanding and allow those who receive this message the ability to dig deeper and see that there is deeper to dig. So I'm reading this book, Immanuel Velikovsky, Mankind and Amnesia, and he's quoting Jung here, Carl Jung. Mankind is powerless against mankind, and the gods, as ever, show it the ways of fate. In the realm of consciousness, we are our own masters. So he's saying that the gods show us the way of fate, but in the realm of consciousness, we are our own masters. But if we step through the door of the shadow, we discover with terror that we are the objects of unseen factors. To know this is decidedly unpleasant, for nothing is more disillusioning than the discovery of our own inadequacy. It can even give rise to primitive panic because instead of being believed in, the anxiously guarded supremacy of consciousness, which is in truth one of the secrets of human success, is questioned in the most dangerous way. So to even consider this, it gives rise to a primitive panic, right? To that hive mind when you spark these deep understandings that ignite that spark within that's been buried over with the supremacy of consciousness, like the value that we put in this physical life, in this physical being, right? So to even consider, he says, but if we step to the door of the shadow, so he's talking about the shadow being the supremacy of consciousness, and step beyond that and question, right? With terror, we discover with terror that we are the objects of unseen factors. So because it's not tangible, because it's not material, and we can't put our hands on it, we we shun it. We are afraid of it. The hive mind, will throw stones at you. They'll do whatever they can to get you to shut up. They'll choose Barabbas over Jesus, right? Like shit that doesn't make sense. It's like I'm just telling the truth. What the fuck is wrong with you? But it's literally it's so deep. It's tugging at a string so deep within that it makes it uncomfortable. It not only does it make it uncomfortable, it makes it seen as a threat. So it can even give rise to primitive panic because instead of being believed in, the anxiously guarded supremacy of consciousness, our waking life, this 3D bullshit that we're living in, that they got us enslaved in, and the 3D, this supremacy of consciousness, well, that would be wrong, just the supremacy of it. But it would be that we are here embodied as eternal souls in these physical beings as the priority. But it's supposed to be like everything else. It's supposed to be a harmonic, peaceful, symbiotic relationship, right? But they've got us leaning so far into the 3D, into this physical realm through these slavery systems, that we can't give credence to these things that are unseen because they're scary, because we've been taught to only know what we've been taught and not to question anything else. And anything unseen or unprovable or uncertified by their doctors, scientists, lawyers, accountants, teachers, whatever, is off the table. And it's considered loony bin, and everybody can write you off. So they've got everybody trapped going in these circles, and they don't care what circle you're in, this pin, that pin, that pin. It doesn't matter as long as your pin is committed to feeding your energy, time, and attention into just this physical, right? But since ignorance is no guarantee of security, right? But since ignorance is no guarantee of security, and in fact only makes our insecurity still worse, so by keeping ourselves ignorant, right, it's no guarantee of security, but it only makes our insecurity still worse. It is probably better, despite our fear, to know where the danger lies, which means not necessarily the danger, but where the unseen lies, where the questions lies, where the things that haven't been confronted lies. That's what he's referring to as danger, right? And then Velikovsky says, and Jung asked the question and let it follow by intuitively felt concern, though not by an answer. So he's saying, intuit this, let it sit with you. Don't try to come up with an answer, because then you're triggering that supremacy of the consciousness. Allow it to resonate, allow it to sit, allow it to, and see what comes up. Okay, so this is back to, now this is Jung quoting again. To ask the right question is already half the solution of a problem. And that is the problem that most people have, is they're not even asking the right question. They're not getting down to the root. They're literally just asking superficial questions within the supremacy of consciousness that it's not allowing themselves to get down to the root. So all they're doing is treating symptoms. They're running in circles after solutions to the shit that can't be answered within the supremacy of the consciousness in the 3D. It has to be allowed to access that unconsciousness, that collective conscious, that's connected to that collective conscious, and it has to be allowed to connect there to truly be able to get anywhere. Otherwise, you're just spinning in circles. So to ask the right question is already half the solution of a problem. At any rate, we then know that the greatest danger threatening us comes from the unpredictability of the psyche's reactions. So what he's saying is, if we allow the danger in allowing ourselves to dive into the unknown, into the abyss, or to look beyond the veil or the shadow, it's threatening. It's the greatest danger threatening us comes from the unpredictability of the psyche, because we don't know how the psyche's going to react. And why don't we know how the psyche's going to react? And that's what I'm tying everything into. It's all tied into the way we've treated this vessel and allowed and given our authority over to everything else. If we clean up this vessel, take personal responsibility for it, then it opens up to us, okay, there's more to us. It's obvious there's more to us than just this supremacy of consciousness. That is the consciousness, this conscious waking existence is only a small part. It's a majorly important part that we've been shitting. It's a gift that we've been shitting on, because it's the merging of the soul with the biological system. So it's the merging of the conscious it's the merging of the intangible with the tangible, right? And so discerning persons have realized for some time that external historical conditions of whatever kind are only occasions, jumping off grounds for the real dangers that threaten our lives. So what he's saying is that we're paying all this attention to these historical conditions of the past, but we're not addressing the real dangers that threaten our lives. These are the present politico-social delusional systems in the matrix in which we live in, right? We should not regard them casually as necessary consequences of external conditions, like we have a police force because, oh, we're all so bad and we need laws and we need to be told what to do. No, but as decisions precipitated by the collective unconscious. So we are in the situation we are in as humanity right now because even though we're sitting here and everybody's bitching and complaining about the government and everything, but they're not getting to the root of the issue. They're not getting to why we're even in this situation in the first place. And it's because they're afraid to dig deeper. They're afraid to go beyond the veil. They're afraid to go look beyond the shadow. And so this ties in perfectly because this is what I'm saying to you all, not to everybody else, not to all the thousands of people that potentially, could be listening. I'm talking to the few, the 15 people here who watch, this and are keeping up with what I've been putting down, that you guys are keeping up with it, that you know that there's something here. That's the only reason you're still listening. And what I'm challenging you to do is, just like Jung said, these minions, these slave minds, these hive minds are afraid because they're sitting in the collective the collective unconscious of safety, of the supremacy of the consciousness, and anything that digs at the known, at the tangible, it's a threat to them. So we have gone a step further and dug down and said, oh no, wait a minute, you have to question that, you got to go deeper on this, you're just being ignorant and your ignorance is getting you nowhere. But what I'm challenging you guys, this is what I'm telling you, this is what my purpose is. This is the only reason these 15 beautiful souls listen to me all the time, is because I am challenging you to not take that virtue signaling stance of, well, I know what's going on and now I'm better, and not then just be stuck in the ways and means by which you are coping and getting through life. My challenge to you is I'm here to spark that and make you guys as uncomfortable as fuck, because if we don't have that person sparking that within us, it's so easy to sit in our homes and hide in our little rooms and hide behind our little computers that we can choose what kind of content we want to have and what kind of interactions we want to have, and just stagnate. And it's the same thing with these damn vegans who are virtue signaling, saying, these meat eaters, at least I don't slaughter animals and I'm not contributing to that. But they're slaughtering their vessel. They're literally slaughtering the one thing that, the most important thing we need to be doing is looking inside and not outside. And so the whole vegan cult movement thing that's why it's so dangerous, because it's just putting you from this pen into this pen. And nobody's addressing the real root issue, which is your vessel, not his vessel, not their vessel, not what he's doing, she's doing, they're doing, what the culture's doing, what society's doing, what the government's saying, what politics is saying, fake moon landings and all this shit. No, it's our vessel. That is the number one thing we can do. And look, you guys have already come this far by facing shit. You've been pushed down, fucked with by society in every way imaginable, and you're still fucking here. And by hiding in your homes and coping and waiting till life is over and waiting for a savior, whatever your own personal, way of justifying, not moving further and not challenging yourself further to grow and heal, because every time you heal and do these things and face these things, you grow. You unlock capabilities within yourself that have been locked down. And that's exactly, man, that's exactly what Jung is starting to get at right here, is that by not facing these things, you are stagnating. You are being stuck in the supremacy of the consciousness. And what is that doing? What profiteth a man to gain the whole world and lose his own soul? And that's what I'm talking about is, okay, we got this knowledge, but we're not applying it completely. And that's why my challenge to you guys with this, you know what, I look back. I look back at the videos I've made over the past few weeks. Guess what the most least watched videos are? I literally only have like 9 views on that means not even the 15 of you who are normally watching every single video. That means a third of you are not even allowing yourselves the opportunity to be challenged in your home. I can't touch you. I can't, this energy you're feeling that makes you uncomfortable, that is the unknown. That is the intangible. That is the collective. That is us communicating. And it's with love that I do it. I don't do it out of trying to prove something. I don't try to do it out of ego. I'm not trying to do it to make everybody believe the way I believe. I'm doing it because you cannot logically get to here and then also go through the intangible knowing of what we know as souls and then sit there and not watch these videos because it makes you uncomfortable and sit there and act like you're above anybody else or anybody else who's voting Republican, Democrat, who is playing these political games, these social games, these cultural games. If you are truly trying to change and trying to grow and trying to unlock your capabilities as an eternal, all-knowing, all-powerful soul that occupies the most advanced biological system on this earth, that's connected to everything biologically and obviously, right? Obviously, on this level, right? If I'm reaching in and touching that deep thing and sparking that light inside of you that you're keeping hidden because it's so uncomfortable in your little home, right? And thinking you can just sit there and cope your way with that little cope that you're afraid to address. I'm telling you guys, if you address that one thing, if you address that thing, it's going to open doors wide open. That's where I'm talking about when I tell you guys and sit here and talk about the gift of life, the magic of life, it unlocks that because you have voluntarily given over the ego, the supremacy of the consciousness, in taken that leap of faith and done that trust fall. And in so doing, you are merging the tangible and the intangible, the conscious and the unconscious, and you are unlocking. That will allow you to unlock these things that are just profound meaning it can't be explained in words. It's just so unbelievable. And so my challenge is to you guys, because I'm sure the other 5-6 people that usually watch the other videos are going to go back and watch it. So those 2 videos that I'm talking about that you guys are just skipping over because you're like, he's not going to watch that. He's just a fucking animal lover. He's just a crazy kook. He's just preaching his own thing that he thinks is truth of you shouldn't satanically ritually abuse animals for your taste buds. And so the 2 videos are the pig video. I think it was the last 2 videos I made on animal abuse and slaughter. And I think it was the pig video and the slaughterhouse video. I think those were the 2. And that just shows me, man, I saw that earlier and I'm like, man, people are really avoiding this shit, man. You know, whoever it is, I'm not talking about all of you because all of you obviously aren't. I'm just talking about that's what I'm here for, guys. I'm here to spark that within you. I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not here to build up a following of 1,000 people. I don't want that. If I can't even touch the 15 beautiful souls that are here, I'm doing something wrong. My purpose is to spark that deeper desire in you put aside the fear, doubt, worry, and everything else that comes from poking at the supremacy of the consciousness, and allow you that safe space. I'm telling you, it's safe, it's okay. But like Jung said, we're afraid of what the psyche's reaction's going to be, right? We're afraid of how that's going to affect us going that deep, right? And I'm just telling you, I'm here, man. I'm here for y'all. Look, if you guys need, I'll give you my fucking phone number. You can call me if you're having a bad experience or if you went too deep or whatever. But really, all you got to do, look, we are in charge. You know how many demons? I've slaughtered thousands of my own demons. Of my own fucking demons that hung on me for 40 fucking years, that had me running this vessel into the ground, worshiping the supremacy of the consciousness, afraid to dig in and look behind the veil and see what was really going on. And until I did, man, it was hell. It was fucking hell. But I'll tell you, man, you get through that shit and you put in that time, that effort, and you prove to yourself that you're worth it, and you slay all these fucking demons that you thought would crush you before, and you pull them out from under the bed and out of the closet, and all of a sudden you find out there ain't shit, and that you've had the authority over them the whole time. It's just you never exercised it because these 3D matrix systems that we slaving under and we're enslaved to have told us that we don't have the authority, that we are nothing, that we aren't certified, we aren't registered, we aren't authorized, we aren't worthy. And it's completely untrue. I'm here to tell you that you are seen, you are worthy, you are loved, and you are powerful. And you have to unlock that power. You have to take that step, that leap into the unknown, that you have to dive into the abyss further. You probably already have. You're like, fuck, I've been diving my whole life. Well, you can go further, and I'm telling you, you can. And the reason you get hung up, the reason that fear and worry keep you trapped on whatever level you're on, is because the only reason fear and worry has a place is because you're unwilling to go deeper, and it knows that. So it's taking over, and it's like, catch him while he's here. Keep him stuck here. And that's how it's working. Whew. This is what I've been trying to, but I had to get to a level in my journey where I was able to relate this properly. And now you guys are in the levels of your journey. If you're still sitting here right now, you're in the level of your journey where you're ready. If you are taking this transmission from me, it's like I'm sitting there next to you and I'm tapping you on the shoulder, and you can feel that energy coming out of me. And it's love. It's a love that you've never experienced before, because who else in your fucking life is this honest? And who else in your fucking life is going to take this time and sit here and try and be like, how do I get this out of me? How do I relay this in a way that cannot be perceived as it's not clear enough? And this is it. This is it. This is the one. This is what I've been waiting for, guys. This is a big relief for me to get this out of me, because it's confronting. Like literally all your bullshit excuses, justifications, and everything else, whether it be for the participating in and consenting to the satanic ritual abuse and sacrifice of all these trillions of animals every year, or whether it be, 50 other different things. We all have our own nuances. We all have our own little copes and things that we're sitting in that we need to work on, right? And, some people have been working on it for 30 years. I've been working on it for 30 years. You shouldn't. It doesn't take that long. You are the cause of it taking that long. You're spinning in circles and afraid to go deeper. And I'm telling you, that's just the way it is, period. You are not retarded. Retarded means not having the mental capacity to go any further. You are not retarded. There's not a governor on you other than the governor you place. And that governor you place is coming out of fear. It's coming out from undealt with trauma, abuse, and things that you're not facing. And I'm challenging you guys for your own sakes, because the more of us that can dig deeper and unlock this, it comes out. That's what I'm trying to say. It comes out into the collective unconscious. We are all connected. It's like I'm sitting there in the living room with you guys. And that's just how it works. Questions, comments, leave them. Leave them, because, I don't see how what I just said in this video can be any clearer. I don't see how it can be any clearer. But if I can make it clear, please, questions, comments. If you don't, look, even if you aren't jiving with it, if somehow after this 25 minutes you still aren't jiving with it, type in the comment, I'm not ready. Because just by taking that step and physically getting that out of you and showing that cowardly lion within yourself and putting it on print, putting it in paper, and putting it out there for the rest of us, it is going to help you. It's going to strengthen you, because you had the strength to admit that you were a cowardly lion and couldn't do it. You weren't ready. But how long can you sit with that cognitive dissonance? Because you can't sit very long until you have to pick up extra copes and extra ways of getting along and more distractions and keeping yourself super busy. Because once this spark's ignited, brother, it doesn't, and sister, it doesn't stop unless you extinguish the flame, unless you put more layers back over top of it and say, oh no, not going there again. I'm happy with this little existence I got. I'm going to cope my way to death. So, guys, this comes out of love. Before I even made this video, before I've been making any of these videos recently, before I made this video, I said, allow these words to flow through me. Allow these concepts and ideas that I've been trying to get across to flow out of me, with the intention that others may use it to spark that stagnation within them and pick themselves up and believe in themselves and trust in themselves to take that jump deeper. You guys can do it. We are so unbelievable. Guys, we are so powerful. We are so capable and able and powerful. It's profound. It can't be put into words, at least not by me right now, because I'm still taking it all in. But I'm telling you, when I say the magic and the gift of life, man, I wake up every morning, all day, I'm just like astounded. And the way I keep myself in that state of being is the less attention I put to the money, to the food, to the distractions, to the conspiracies, to the what's going on over here, over there, my niece, my nephew, my uncle, my fucking mom, my dad, my anything else but me, please, right? So what I'm saying is the way I stay in that beautiful state of being able to recognize, accept, and embrace this gift of life is by staying focused on my journey. And no matter how uncomfortable it makes me to confront all of these fears, these hidden fears and anxieties, and the causes of them and where they're coming from. And for me, it's I'm dealing with I'm clearing ancestral stuff and lineage stuff. So, yeah, man, I do. So, and I say, so that's my intention, is that, it'll spark that courage inside of y'all, for those of you who need to dive deeper. And I send it with love, pure love. Not the, oh, I love you. Oh, I love you. Here's a lollipop. Here's some poison. Oh, what do you like to do? Oh, what's your favorite fucking color? No, with love. This is love, truth, authenticity. Shining my light for the world to see, bringing hope, encouragement, and inspiration to all, regardless of what the outside consequences might be of the supremacy of the consciousness. I don't give a fuck, because it's not worth it to me to give I would never, as far as I've come now, there's no fucking way in hell I would give a fucking centimeter of my authenticity for any of this 3D bullshit. Take care of yourselves, guys. Nobody else will.